Hello, today we're looking at the RainShadow Tarot Oracle. On the card you can see there's a little bit of gold foiling on the rain. And this is by Claire Mack and Autumn Hesse. This is a Kickstarter deck. I will open it up so you can see the inside. Just shiny, and then show you the inside of that there. So let's take a look at the card, the guidebook. So there's no writing on the front. It is black and white matte. There's a little picture there, divination, introduction, and then it gets straight into it. So what you get is a few keywords and a little brief description, and it's like that for both the minor and the major arcana, as you can see. And then there's just a bit about creating notes at the end. It's a very basic booklet. I wouldn't really call it a guidebook. This is the backs of the cards. And this deck is edged in a matte silver, which I've never seen before, and it's definitely coming across more as a grey. The cardstock is a 350 GSM matte laminated, where it feels like satin, so it's got that like smooth finish to it. So this deck cost me $50 US, which is $75 Australian, and $30 US to ship, which is about $45. So it was over $100 for this deck, about 110, 20 bucks. And let's take a look at the cards. Okay, so shuffling wise, it's okay. It does clump. These really thick cardstocks, when they've got also the matte lamination, they can sometimes clump. It's not the best shuffle experience, and you definitely, I don't think you can shuffle it. Bridge it. I definitely don't think you can bridge it. So that was the shuffling experience. So we've got 10 of Wands. It was very interesting too how they ordered the deck. It's not in the standard sort of order that you would expect a new deck to be in. So we've got 9 of Wands. Struggling with demands, carrying a heavy burden. Here, there are monsters, mostly of your own making. The sense of overwhelm by forces outside yourself may actually be your own demons eager to block you at every intersection. Remember, you can say no to these malevolent impulses and take back your power by creating a more balanced approach to your lifestyle. Pay attention to healthy habits and recreation. So I will touch base with you for my review. Okay, it's time for my review portion. So let's start with the box. The box is fine. It's good quality. And yeah, nothing wrong with it. So it's easy to take out. So here we go. We've got the guidebook. So the guidebook is itty bitty. There really is not a lot of information. So I definitely do not recommend this as a beginner's deck whatsoever, but it's fine. Like, there's enough. There's a little bit about the whole meaning of the deck, the RainShadow, which is an effect that happens where one side of the mountain gets a lot of rain and the other side is almost like a desert. So yeah, like I said, the guidebook is okay, but not the best. So here are the cards, the backs. I do like the backs. I think they're pretty. I'm not a fan of the matte silver. I don't think it goes with the color scheme of the deck. I just find it a bit jarring. The cardstock, it's just not, it's a good quality cardstock, but it's not great to shuffle. It clumps. It's so thick that it's just one of those situations where, like, you have to kind of do that. Like, it's fine, but I don't love it. Like, I just feel like too many cards stick together, as you can see. So it's not my favorite kind of cardstock, but I know, like, it is durable. So I'll talk about it while I show you what I paired it with. The first pairing was the Golden Light Oracle. So I wanted something with a bit more of a color pop to go with this deck, because as you can see, it's quite, well, I was going to say it's quite dark, and then we're literally on one of the most colorful cards in the deck. But I just wanted something to sort of bring out the colors a little more. And I feel like these two decks have that kind of deep, rich, but more muted tones, like more autumn, fall kind of coloring. And so I thought it would go well together. And it did. I loved working with these two together. I thought they were a fantastic pairing. In regards to this deck and the artwork, I'm not in love with it. Like, it's okay, but I don't know, as soon as I took it out and started playing with it, I just didn't really resonate with the artwork. It can be quite pippish, to be honest. Like, here's Two of Cups, and I really don't like pip decks. So, like, this does nothing really for me as a Two of Cups card. Some cards I do really like. Most I am very ambivalent about. So yeah, it just, I don't know. I didn't really, doesn't spark joy. So aesthetic wise, it's meh for me. I guess online, I don't know why, I just was drawn to it, but then in person, I find it a bit lackluster. So not loving the artwork, to be honest. As far as it reads, it's a bit dry. I've done a few readings and they're okay. So it's not horrible. It's not like a complete disconnect, but it's not amazing. So when I go to the guidebook, sometimes I find like the guidebook write-up just not applicable at all. It's not quite like standard RWS. I know that the author wanted to sort of to combine the light and shadow aspects, because the whole like thing of this deck is sort of duality. I do like this card. and they kind of have done that with the write-ups, but I find the write-ups, I don't know, a bit impersonal, a little cold. I think that is what is the issue with this deck for me. There is just no warmth. I'll show you the other deck that I paired it with. So I also paired it with the Starcodes Astro Oracle. I think, yeah, that is the issue with this deck and me. It just feels really impersonal, and I don't know, like we're just cordial strangers, you know? There's like a politeness there, but there's no getting to know each other. There's no conviviality, congeniality. There's no like camaraderie, all the C words that I can think of. And I don't know, I'm like, look, the quality is amazing. I think it's cool for what it is, but is it for me? I don't think so. Which is like, it bums me out because look, it is an expensive deck. It's a Kickstarter deck. All Kickstarters tend to be quite expensive. So, and I've just gotten it. I'm like, do I give it more time? And that's what I'm going to and fro, back and forth about. It's like I have only worked with it for 1 week, but I just wasn't excited to pick it up. And I know that I said that is the most telling, sorry about that, my cat's deciding to climb curtains, thing for me with the deck is, especially if it is brand new, am I excited to get it out? I should be, because it's sparkly and fresh. But if I'm not excited to take it out and I don't really care about what it wants to tell me, then it's probably not the deck for me. And I think that is the conclusion that I've coming to with this particular deck. Is just, as for whatever reason, it is just not lighting me up. And there's no point in me having a deck that I'm just not going to go forward. If I've got so many decks to choose from, am I going to choose a deck that's just I'm met about? Probably not. So once again, with these two decks, I thought these went really well together. There's a lot of sort of geometry and similar, like once again, muted sort of darker hues and shadow. So I thought that they worked well together. And like I said, all three of these decks read really, really wonderfully. I don't love the write-ups in the guidebook, so I'll do another sample reading so you can see what it's like. But yeah, I think I am going to pass this deck on, just because I'm not in love with it. I might give it a little bit more of a play, but I just don't see my opinion changing. I know pretty much instantly, within a couple of days at the least, if the deck is working for me or not, you know, and this one is not. So I will do a little sample reading now and finish off my review. Okay, so I've just done a little week ahead spread. So we've got the 8 of Wands with Let Go and the Descendant or Invitation. So I'll read from the guidebook for the 8 of Wands so you can see how it's written. So for 8 of Wands, they have written, swift action, shifting direction. A feat of acrobatic proportions may be required as you swift action, shifting direction. A feat of acrobatic proportions may be required as you are called on to address emergent issues with haste. Be prepared to dive in at any given moment. Your actions bring clarity and resolve for laying a future path. So it's paired with invitation and letting go. These are both about relationships. So this is about letting go of what does not serve you, of seeing sort of any patterns or habits that are not in your highest good, and possibly leaving certain people behind that are just not aligning with you any further. So it's sort of about cutting cords and moving on. And with this card here, this is also talking about relationships and putting up boundaries, but also inviting in new healthy relationships and dynamics and people, and keeping your heart open to healing and nurturing and mutual relationships. So with the 8 of Wands, that says to me that there might be some new relationships coming into my life very quickly. So there might be some exciting new connections that are more aligned with who I am wanting to be, and that are different from what I've had in the past. So that's the general vibe for me with the green. I just think of heart chakra. And yeah, look, for an 8 of Wands card, it's decent. Normally it's just sticks. At least this has got a little bit of variance in it, so it's not just the sticks going across the page. It's one of those cards that always tends to be the same. But that is the general gist of this reading, is just some exciting changes in regards to relationships that are perhaps more in line with what is for the highest good. So with this deck, I don't think I'm going to keep it. If I decide to move it on, I'll probably be including it in my giveaway in November. But that was the RainShadow Tarot. I hope that wherever you are having a really good morning, afternoon, or evening. And as always, stay wild, Star Child.